evening and welcome to Innsbruck. It's been an action-packed day already here in the Austrian region of Tyrol. We've had 10 paraclimbing finals and now we have the speed climbing finals live from the Olympia World on the banks of the Sill River to the south of Innsbruck city centre. I'm Charlie Bosco, joined this evening by Mike Langley and speed climbing expert Josh Levin. And Josh, we had a very interesting qualifying round and 1 or 2 surprise results.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks so much for having me again, Charlie. I competed in the speed qualifying round earlier today. It was a lot of fun. We're competing here in front of thousands of people in the Olympia World in Innsbruck, so it's a cool venue. A couple big surprises right off the bat. We had Daniel Boulderev, world rank #1. He had a false start in one of his qualification races, so he will not be racing for the gold medal tonight here in Innsbruck. A couple other combined athletes that had a false start include Jakob Schubert, Jongwon Chan, Yoshiki Ogata. But then we have a couple other people who did quite well, as far as Tomo Narasaki and Miho Nanaka. So we'll see them in the combined later, but not in tonight's final. Tonight's final will have the top 16 men and women athletes from around the world competing for the gold medal at the World Championships here tonight.
Yeah, and as Josh mentioned, if you false start in either of your qualifying rounds, you are out of the competition. So it doesn't matter if you record a valid time in your first run. If you then false start in your second one, you are ejected from the competition. Harsh but fair, and as I always say, we've talked about the 6-minute rule in lead climbing, changing emphasis in bouldering, whatever. Sport is arbitrary games with arbitrary rules, and the rules are the same for everyone.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's definitely a different strategy you have to have going into it, knowing that if you got a good first time, to not false start your second time on both of the qualification runs. So it's definitely interesting to see how it played out so far, and it'll make for some very intriguing races tonight.
Here is our speed climbing wall. It's over to the right of the venue here in Innsbruck. We're in the Olympia World, as I mentioned, the big arena next to the Tivoli Stadium, 15 metres high, 6 metres wide, 5 degrees overhanging and certified for a world record. For the women, the world record is currently set on separate occasions, but an equal time for Anouk Jobert and Yulia Koplina, 7.32 seconds. And for the men, Reza Ali Porshena, the current world record holder, 5.48. All 3 of those climbers will participate. There are the world records on the screen. 7 women wait under 8 seconds in the qualifiers and a further 17 under 9 seconds. So with the Olympic announcement that it's going to be all 3 disciplines, the average times in speed climbing absolutely plummeting. And there we can see the 16 women who will be taking part this evening. Over on the men's side, we have 3 men under 6 seconds and 27 men under 7 seconds. Reza Ali Porshena Zandifar, who I mentioned earlier, fastest time for him, 5.726, looked blisteringly quick. He's a huge bear of a guy. I don't know what you think, Josh. You look slightly lighter to me this time, slightly leaner version of Reza. Is that your reading of it as well?
Thanks, yeah. It's definitely plays to different body types. Each person and each body type has their own beta or way of getting up the wall. So tonight we're going to see a lot of different variations on different betas to do the speed route. And I think that's the cool part about speed, is that even though it is exactly standardized across the entire world, you see so many different ways of doing it. And most recently, in the speed climbing world, we've been following along with, because of the new combined format, several of the boulders or lead climbers have been more getting into speed climbing, including notably Tomo Narasaki, world champion boulder from 2016. So he came up with this brand new beta that I don't think we'll be able to see tonight in the final, but we will be seeing more of in the future. Notably, Adam Ondra actually did this beta during his qualification race and had a pretty good time for the first time. So we're about to get started with the women, but we're excited to see who's going to take the gold tonight here in Innsbruck.
Yes, 16 women, 16 men, as Josh mentioned. So they pair off, and at this stage in the finals, you're racing the person next to you and not racing the clock. It doesn't matter if it takes you 1 minute. If your opponent takes 1 minute, 1 second, you're through. So 16 then becomes 8, it then becomes 4, and once we get to the semi-finals, they're then pairing off for a place in the big final. That's speed climbing's equivalent of the gold and silver playoff. The runners-up in the semi-finals go through to the small final. That is speed climbing's equivalent of the 3rd place playoff. First climber's already out. Alexandra Rudzinska, winner of the World Cup in Chamonix earlier this year, clocked a 7.631 in qualified. She takes on Kulian He of China.
And your marks.
Hey, the 2009 world champion, Aleksandra Rudzinska, looking to join her as an IFSC speed climbing world champion. Both away cleanly, and it's quick through the middle section. Clean from both, or it was until Hay slipped, and Rudzinska should bring it home easily enough, and does in 8.16. Yeah. 10.36 from Hay.
That was a really clean race from both those ladies until the slip, but these are both world-class athletes. In the top 16 tonight, we're going to see some really incredible races. Kulian Hay, she's a former world champion, former world record holder, and she kind of represents the older generation, and the newer generation we're seeing with Aleksandra Rudzinska. She's really one to watch out for. She won her first World Cup earlier this year. She won the Tokyo Open Championships earlier this year as well. And she's definitely having a really good season so far.
Yeah, am I right in thinking you were at the Tokyo event?
I was, yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Do you get to spend a bit of time with her?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. She's a really great athlete and a great person to hang out with, so I'm really hoping that she does well tonight.
Up next, Elisabetta Ivanova of Russia takes on Patricia Chertsiak of Poland. Ivanova will be on the left, Chertsiak on the right. 8.243 from Ivanova in the qualifiers, 8.290 from Chertsiak, so not much to split them in the qualifying round. Ivanova now on the left, Chertsiak on the right. Ivanova picked up a bronze in the Youth World Championships a month ago in Moscow. Both away cleanly, and both clean through the middle section as well. Ivanova slightly quicker, but she's going to have to work if she wants this. It's going to be tight, and it's Chertsiak who takes it, 8.15 to 8.30.
That was a really great race, super clean by both athletes. And statistically, this is the 8 versus 9 seeding from the qualification round. So usually this race is the closest race out of the first round we're going to see so far.
Yeah, of course, your qualification time determines where you start in the final and who you race against. And this was Patricia Chertsiak, I think at about 2/3 height. She was trailing.
She lost her bib there at the end too. That was pretty interesting, but she got it done. All at the top.
And that bit of lost weight might have made all the difference. I suspect not. So the Kaluchkas now facing off against each other, Aleksandra and Natalia.
Yeah, they're two phenomenal athletes still in youth climbing right now. They're just came back from the Youth World Championship in Moscow. Natalia got the gold and Aleksandra got the silver, or bronze, I should say. But tonight will be an entirely different race.
Yeah, tough one for the family to watch. Just emotional moment. They now race each other in the World Championships in Innsbruck. It's Aleksandra on the left, Natalia on the right. Natalia just rocked back before she got underway, but they both got away cleanly, no problem at all. Aleksandra, I think, has a small lead, but this is going to be our second tight race in a row. And it is Aleksandra who takes it, 8.30, and Natalia, I don't think applied to fit. She did. Her time has come up. It didn't appear the clock had stopped. 8.27. Remember, you have to apply pressure sufficiently and in the right place to the timing pad at the top, which she did, and it's Aleksandra who progresses.
Yeah, really great race from both athletes. And one of the things that we're going to be seeing more of is that at the top you see that there's a small circular pad you have to apply pressure to, but at the bottom there's actually a brand new laser sensor that has been developed specifically for this competition. And we've been trying to deal with it during today's qualification round, but it's a little bit sensitive. Like, we're not really sure exactly how it's going to play out throughout the rounds, but we've seen a lot of false starts from either rocking too far back and forward or coming up too soon. And it's just a little bit different than we're used to. So a little bit interesting to see a brand new time distance coming out at the World Championship event.
In some ways, as an athlete, it's the last thing you want, isn't it? Something new to think about. Just, I could throw up some surprise results, though, for the neutral watching on.
Exactly, yeah.
Could really spice things up.
It's definitely interesting to see how it plays out, how athletes deal with the changes that happen during the competition.
Looking very focused on the left there, Anna Tsiganova, 2016 world champion, takes on Dina Yu of China. Tsiganova, the winner in Paris 2 years ago in the Accor Arena. Both away cleanly, but Niu got by far the better start and opened up a half body length lead. It's since been shortened though. And how Tsiganova takes it in 7.97. Still not entirely sure how she caught Niu through that middle section.
That was a super close race. Really great start from Niu D. I actually had the honor of going to China a couple years ago with Nirji to present climbing as a future Olympic sport. So she's been in the sport for quite a while, and this is a great result for her, coming out strong and making the finals at the World Championships here in Innsbruck.
So Anna Ivanova through.
Yeah, just you can see here the final stretch, really close. It came down to just how quickly they were able to go from that final hold to the buzzer. We're seeing Anna Ivanova here on the left. Really quick move into the top. Takes it in 7.97 seconds.
She actually commentated with me on the bouldering in Thailand earlier this year, Anna Ivanova, and she's such a character. Not a bad boulderer either.
Yeah, she's definitely a favorite for the combined so far.
Now then, Anouk Jobert closest to the camera. Most people would have her down as a favorite. It's come down to her and Yulia Kaplina so many times in the IFSC World Cups over the past few seasons. First thing first, though, she's got to get past Ala Marenic first. Jobert, fast time, 7.789 in the qualifiers. By no means her quickest, 0.4 of a second, and loose change slower than her own world record of 7.32, which is most people's favorite. She's had a few messy World Cups recently, though. Needs just some smooth, clean runs to get her confidence, and that's not what she's got. Stumbled very low on the route. And Marenic is going to take it, 8.39. Massive shock here in Innsbruck. Anouk Jobert is out. Ala Marenic is through.
Wow, that is a big upset. Anouk Jobert is definitely one of the favorites to win at any competition, not just this one. She's a phenomenal athlete, and unfortunately just had a minor slip there that cost her the race. But she'll definitely come back stronger, and I'm sure she'll be able to take it back for the rest of the speed competitions later this season.
Josh, it's perfect timing having you here, actually, because I wanted to ask you about this. Anouk Jobert, it seems to me, has got almost what golfers call the yips, where you twitch at the crucial moment. It seems like she's had so many messy competitions recently. She's actually won some of them despite multiple slips, but is that something that happens to speed climbers? Once you get it in your head that you're not going to be clean, it then comes true?
It's definitely possible. Speed climbing is much more a mental game than physical as far as competitions go, just because you've had the opportunity to get this route dialed in, and at this point, like, you just have to get it out of your own head, all the obstacles that could potentially slow you down. So for each of these speed climbers, having a confident mental game going into the race is probably even more important than being physically on top of their game.
Yulia Kaplina now on the right. Has she seen that result? She takes on Anna Brozet. You'd have thought Kaplina now the favourite, the clear favourite with Jobert out. But she takes on Anna Brozet. Brozet's on the left, Kaplina's on the right. She's going to have to work harder. She wants to get through this round of 16, and she slips as well.
Wow.
The two favourites both out. Kaplina and Jobert out in the first round. We said we might see some surprise results. Whether it was the starting pad or what, I don't know. But neither athlete looked on their game, and both the favourites out in the round of 16.
Yeah, that is an absolute shock with both world record holders combined for the same time that they have, 7.32 seconds. They are both out in the very first round of the finals here, so that is a really big upset. Great run by both athletes, but again, it just comes down to one slip, and that you can see at the very end, she just missed that final foothold just by a tiny bit. That's all it takes.
Yeah, it looked to me as if Jobert had measured her pace really well there, and then just that slip at the end, she'd opened up a metre or so lead, absolute maximum. It seems to have been the case in so many speed climbing World Cups this year. Just stay in the race. As they say in motor racing, to finish first you must finish. And it's been the case in speed climbing a lot this year. Maria Krasavina now takes on her compatriot Katerina Barashuk of Russia.
Yeah, Krasavina has been extremely consistent throughout the last couple years of speed climbing, always been on and off the podium. And I believe she's a former world champion as well from Arco. So let's see if she can retain the title from 7 years ago here in Innsbruck.
Ready?
It's good knowledge. 2011 in Arco, she was the world champion. Krasavina on the left, Barashuk on the right. And it's Barashuk who's got the big lead. Krasavina the favourite going into this race, but it's going to be very, very tight. And she takes it by 0.04 of a second. Maria Krasavina goes through 8.26 to 8.30.
Wow, and this is, again, such a tight race. We haven't seen a single race so far in the round of 16 be more than a second apart from maybe the first one. But yeah, it's been really, really close for every single one of these races. Unfortunately, no false start so far, but I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood.
They seem to come in waves false start at speed climbing competitions. You seem to sometimes get them repeatedly.
Yeah, definitely gets in your head a little bit. But yeah, really clean race from both athletes. Krasavina was able to rein it in with her experience. She's moving on to the next round.
Victoire Andrier of France, there she is. She will climb in the right-hand lane, already picked up a World Cup medal in 2018. Could she pick one up in the World Championships? Two of the favourites for the gold medal, who you would almost certainly, you'd have bet your mortgage on them both being on the podium, are already out. She takes on Yiling Song of China. Charlie Bosco and Josh Levin here. Mike Langley on standby, ready to talk you through the men's competition. And Yiling Song on the left, Andre on the right. Final moments of composure. You said it earlier on, in speed climbing, your mind can be more important than your body. Victoire Andrier got the game face on, 8.3 from her coming through from qualifiers. 8 flat from Yiling Song, and again, both away cleanly, no false starts in the women's round of 16, but a big slip from Victoire Andrier, and Yiling Song is going to go through 8.36. Both the French climbers, Jobert and Andrier, falling action-packed round of 16 for the women here in Innsbruck.
Yeah, definitely a bummer for Victoire Andrier, but Yiling Song had a really, really great race there. She's really young athlete. She's only 17 years old and already competing on one of the biggest stages here. She had a 4th place earlier this year in Villars, and she's definitely one to look out for in the next upcoming seasons.
And got some speed to spare. She was 4/10 slower then than she was in the qualifiers, so more to come from her.
Easily.
That is the women's round of 16 concluded. 8 women through. And I will hand you over to Mike Langley to talk you through the men's. Fear not though, Josh Levin staying right where he is.
Thanks, guys. So here we're looking at the speed final for the women's bracket as of right now. The up arrow designates who will be moving on to the second round, and we're about to head over to catch the men's speed final. Last quick note for the women here, the last race we had Yiling Song. She's, again, another example of a young next generation level of athletes, and especially from the Chinese team, we've seen a lot of younger athletes come out and have some really outstanding performances. So I think the Chinese team in speed climbing is definitely going to be one to look out for, especially as the seasons progress towards future competitions and next Olympics.
So Josh, a quick look back at the women's round of first round, and really, really exciting, but a lot of big mistakes and a lot of upsets.
Yeah, definitely a lot of really, really big names out in the first round. We had both world record holders joint out in the very first round of competition. So as of right now, the field seems completely open. We do have, of course, Alexandra Rosinska. She was ranked #1 coming in from qualifiers. It's her competition to win at this point.
So it's on to the men's speed final then. Here we go. Current world record stands with Reza Aliposhena. 5.48 seconds.
So we're just seeing the list of athletes here. The list, as you see on your screen, is not the order that they'll be appearing in. The first race will be Reza Ali Porshana Zandifar versus Jordan Fishman in the United States. Reza, of course, is our current world record holder from last year on the 15-meter wall. He's clocked a 5.48 second time. And here are the athletes.
Here they come then. Jordan Fishman and Reza Ali Porshana on the left. Reza, one of the huge superstars in speed climbing, always wears his heart on his sleeve. You know what's happening if Reza's winning. Let's see how we get on in the first race. Big upsets in the women. Let's see if any of that nervous energy rubs off into the men's competition.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Jordan. This is his first big senior world championship. He's a great youth climber out of Colorado, and this is his first ever time in a world championship, World Cup finals. So really excited for him to see how he goes.
Big man Reza up against him. Looking really pumped up as ever, really composed. It's going to be Jordan Fishman on the right, Reza Ali Porshana on the left.
Ready?
clean start from both athletes, but Reza has a clear lead at the moment. Just a slip there from Jordan. Looks like Reza Elisabetta is off to a fantastic start. Great time, 6.14. Best qualifying time was actually 5.726, so a little bit slow, but a clean start for him.
Yeah, really great race for him. He had a super smooth run, didn't have to go as fast as he needed to go. Really proud of Jordan, though. This is his first ever really big competition. He had a couple slip-ups, but definitely looking forward to seeing him again in some future competitions. He has a lot of power.
And in this early round, Josh, for someone like Reza, does he just try and get through the first round cleanly, make no mistakes, or is he going full power?
No, especially if you're ranked in the top of the field, then you don't have to actually go full out, especially with how the bracket turns out. Because if you get the fastest qualification run, you actually race against the slowest person who made it into the finals. So Reza there was just using his kind of reserve power, I think, and saving the rest for later rounds.
Next pair out then, Leonardo Gontero and Konstantin Pavlenko on the left. Pavlenko 6.220 in the qualification round, starting on that preferred left-hand side. It's close though, 6.259 for Leonardo Gontero in the qualification as well. This should be a tight one.
Oh yes, 8-9 race is always the closest one statistically in the round of 16.
And your marks.
Pavlenko on the left then, and Gontero on the right. Good start from Pavlenko, seems to have the upper hand in the beginning, and Gontero falls early. Pavlenko powers it through with a 6.22. Good solid time, but an upset again. Leonardo Gontero slips right at the bottom of the route.
Yeah, unfortunately for Leonardo, he had a little bit of a slip, took him out of that race. But yeah, Pavlenko is a really good run. Didn't have to go full tilt, but still had a really clean race all the way to the top. Finished it out in 6.22.
Just seemed to be possibly the arm in front of the tape there. Let's just have another look back, see what went wrong. Strange one.
Yeah, it wasn't immediately obvious, but especially in speed climbing, if you have your hips or your body just a little bit off center, then the rest of your body follows suit.
Speed climbing must be one of the most cutthroat sports ever. One mistake and you're out of there.
It's close. It's definitely different than another speed race, something similar like swimming or track and field, where one slip does not just mean that you're behind a little bit. One slip can mean you're done out of the race entirely.
Up next then, two Russians and two previous World Cup winners. Vladislav Julin on the left and Dmitry Timofeev on the right.
Yeah, these are both really, really fast athletes. Julin is a little bit younger. Timofeev has been around for quite a while, but both are really, really good experience in World Cups, and we're going to see just how fast this dominant nation from Russia is going to be tonight.
These two, no doubt, would have trained against each other for years and years, and now here in Innsbruck, head to head. Julin on the left, Timofeev on the right. Both get a clean start, but again on the right-hand lane is Timofeev who slips this time. Vladislav Julin's going to take this one as soon as no mistakes. Good time as well, 6.05. Josh, another slip on the right-hand side.
Yeah. The interesting part about what the brackets, how it works out tonight, is that the left-hand side is the person who had the faster qualification time, at least in this round. So the person on the right generally has a mentality that they need to be faster than they were in qualification in order to win the race. So they have a little bit more to go for, I guess.
And as far as I'm aware as well, there's a slight issue with the peripheral vision. You have the climber on the left in your eyesight, whereas the climber on the left just has the sort of the off-stage area, the blackness off-screen there.
This is true, and especially for the first two moves of the route, you're transitioning to the left. So if you're on the left side, you're looking out into space exactly as you said, but if you're on the right-hand side, you're looking directly at your competitor. So those first couple of moves are noting exactly where they are in comparison to where you are, and that's where you start as well. So seeing exactly how your competitor is going is quite a big mental block sometimes if you're on the right-hand side.
So the next pair of Russians come out is Stanislav Kokorin and Alexandra Shilov. Not to be confused with Alexandra Shikov, who's coming out later on. Definitely tripped up on that one a number of times.
Both are really, really decorated competitors. The important one about this one is that Kokorin has actually placed second at the World Championships twice before. He's never won the World Championships, so this is a time when he's really looking to see if he can claim finally the title of World Champion.
And your marks.
arena becomes focused on these two Russians once again. It's Kokorin on the left and Shilov on the right. Kokorin on the left just rocks back a little bit. It's very, very close up to this stage. It's going to be a tight one. Just a slip from Shilov on the left, and it's Stanislav Kokorin on the left with a 5.95. Our first time under 6 seconds so far in the finals. Great start for Stanislav Kokorin.
Kokorin is really happy about that one. He had a really clean race. Both athletes did. Kokorin was just a little bit faster off the blocks and getting up through the middle section. Really strong athletes. And you can see Kokorin just had a nice clean run at the end. Unfortunately, Shilov, had a little bit of a slip towards the end. One other thing I'll point out, actually, is we've seen 4 athletes in a row from Russia. One of the big things that we've been talking about back in the competitors area is how there's no representation from Indonesia at this competition. Indonesia has been, in 2018, the most dominant speed climbing nation, and they are not here at all. So that's actually a really big turning point, and we would have seen many athletes from Indonesia in the top 16, as well as times to qualify for the final be much lower. So this is kind of an upset in and of itself, with the fact that an entire nation is not here for this competition.
It really opens a door for so many other athletes, and I think
easily
that for me would just means that the athletes have potential a lot more nerves going into the final because they know there's opportunities out there tonight.
Absolutely. Next pair we have Amir Mamarutov, who is my age. I've been competing against him in the youth climbing circuit. And of course we have Bassa Mawam from France.
Yeah, Bassa Mawam, World Cup winner this year. Already got the gold medal under his belt in 2018. Can he put a World Championships medal alongside it?
Yeah, always a big crowd favorite, so really wanted him to do well in this competition.
Part of the Mawam brothers. Fantastic athletes all around. Might have seen them on certain Ninja Warrior TV programs as well. These guys have got bags of talent. Bassa Mawam on the left end and Amir Moimatov on the right. False start on the right. It was a pretty obvious one as well from Amir. I was going to just about to say he got a flyer off the start, but it was too good to be true, and it was a false start.
Yeah, and unfortunately that does kick him out of the race. That's the first false start we've seen in this round, which is a nice thing to have. You definitely don't want too many false starts, but definitely is unfortunate when the race itself has to be determined by someone false starting.
Well, and Charlie was saying earlier, sometimes false starts can lead to more false starts. Let's hope that's not the case tonight. We definitely don't want a final plagued with sort of non-races, but Bassa Mawam will automatically go through on that one.
Yeah, and as we saw here, you can see the laser beams actually connecting with his foot there. So as soon as he breaks those laser beams, the lasers are able to connect with the opposite side of the platform. That indicates that that is a false start. And you can see it listed on the side of the wall there.
Incredibly frustrating to have just that rule of one false start and you're out. We said it was cutthroat just in terms of a slip, but it's even more so in terms of false starts. It's absolutely brutal speed climbing, but the competition moves on. Another World Cup winner, Ludovico Fasali on the left and Jan Kriz, Czech Republic, on the right.
Yeah, and these are actually both reasonably young athletes. They've been competing in the youth climbing series for a long time. Both of them are former youth world champions. Jan Kriz actually recently won the University World Championships in speed climbing. So both of the next generation of what we're going to see from speed climbing.
Fasali, the winner up in Edinburgh last year. Jolly nice chap too, brought around the beers with his winnings. Let's see what he can do here in Innsbruck though. The heartbeat goes around the system here. Through the sound system. Ludwig on the left, Chris on the right. And straight away, World Cup winner. Not going to be a World Championship winner. Another false start. We said false starts can lead to more false starts. It's a heartbreaker for Ludovico Fasali. Jan Kriz goes through automatically. He didn't even really get off the ground.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for both those guys. You never, even as an athlete on the opposite side of a false start, you never want to be able to move through just because your opponent went too early. So I think both those guys really know and appreciate the fact that they had good sportsmanship with each other and know that even though one of them is moving on, it's not the end of the world.
Heartbreak there. Nobody really likes to see that. Nobody likes to see a race go down to a false start, unfortunately. But that is the game. 2 more races left then in this first round in the men's competition. We have seen the women's already started in 2 big upsets in that. So far, a few upsets in the men with a couple of false starts, but overall, quite a few of the favourites safely through to the next stage of this men's competition. Like I said, there are 2 rounds left. Alexandra Shikov and Peng Hui Lin, China on the right.
Yeah, Shikov's having a really good last couple of years. In 2016, he was the bronze medalist at the World Championships, and he's had at least 1, if not 2, World Cup wins under his belt so far. He has this really interesting style, actually, where he kind of closes his eyes, places both hands on his belay rope here, as you can see, before he turns around. This is very unique to his style. He does this every single time.
This is the stage where he lets the body do the talking, not his head.
Absolutely. As an athlete, it's really important to have a little bit of a routine before you get on the wall.
So it's going to be Lin from China on the right and Shikov from Russia on the left.
Ready?
Both climbers off to a really good start, neck and neck at this stage in the competition. This one's going to be a close one. It is Shikov on the left. 5.85, another climber, I think it's the second climber to go through under 6 seconds for this stage in the competition.
Yeah, 3rd climber under 5 so far, under 6 so far tonight, but really clean race from both athletes. And it's interesting to see when both athletes have the same beta, you can actually see just how quick one is compared to the other. So these guys actually use the exact same sequence up the entire length of the wall as far as we can tell. And it just so happened that Shikov took it by less than 0.2 of a second. So a really close race from both athletes, but now we're moving on to our final pair of the evening.
Yeah, final pairing out from China on the left, it'll be Xixing Zhong and Marcin Zienski from Poland on the right.
This is a big one. I mean, both these athletes you want to have on the top of the podium. Both of them have been on the top of the podium at the World Championships before. Marcin Zienski was the 2016 World Champion, and Xixing Zhong has won so many World Championships. He's basically a hero in China. He's won 4 World Championships plus a multi-lane World Championship in China in 2009, and is just an all-around boss. So really excited to see what he's got. Both of them former world champions, but unfortunately one of them will be knocked out in this round of 16.
Yeah, this race is huge right now in Innsbruck. Biggest race in the men's competition up to this stage. Zhong on the left and Zienski on the right. As Josh said, 2 climbers with bags of medals at home. Let's see if one of them can add to that tonight.
Ready?
Both off to a really clean start. It's Zhong who has a slight advantage at this stage. Zienski's got some work to do to catch up here. It's Xixing Zhong on the left with 5.99. In the end, it was quite a clean run from both athletes, but Xixing Zhong did really, really nice there. Yeah. 5.99.
And he wants it. You can see he's definitely one to work out for. He's been in the game for so long. He has so much experience that it really carried him through tonight here. Super clean run for both athletes. Zhong is actually just coming off of a silver medal at the Asian Games in Jakarta less than a month ago. So he definitely wants to come back out and make a strong statement that he's not just one of the best athletes from the Asian continent, but he's one of the best in the world still.
There we have it. That's going to be the next rotations in the men's speed final. Really setting up for an absolute fireworks tonight in the speed competition all the way through. 2 of the favourites in the women competition are already out, and a lot of big names still there in the men's. This one's going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, and this is actually an interesting one because there were only 1 upset in the entire round. And now we're seeing some highlights from the competition. But yeah, the only upset so far we've had was the 2nd race, I believe. Every other race has been gone to the higher ranked climber from qualification. So it's been interesting to see. In the women's race, we had so many upsets, but in the men's race, it's been pretty predictable so far.
So we're going to be cracking back on with the women's competition, which means we get to pass you back over to the one and only Charlie Bosco. We'll be back for the men's after the women.
All right, so now we're just waiting in between rounds. We've just seen the round of 16 for both the men and the women. Now we're moving on to the round of 8. So whoever wins in this series of matchups will advance to the final 4 and will be in contention for a medal here tonight at the World Championships.
Josh, I was able to watch the men's competition without worrying about talking about it. Fascinating on the men's side, and I just want to pick up on something. 3 men under 6 seconds. The world record currently standing at 5.48. You're an expert in speed climbing. Do you think it might be in danger tonight, or conditions not quite optimum?
Honestly, I do not think that the world record will be able to fall here tonight, specifically because of the new timing system. People have been pretty hesitant to try and jump the gun too much with having a new timing system here. And I think that we're going to see that whenever there's new technology or new anything that's involved at like maybe the first competition. Ideally, it'll be working out better for the longer term, but for the very first competition where you have some new element in speed climbing, that everything else is the same, but there's one new element, you definitely want to make sure you're not losing your race because of the technology. So I think because of these new laser starts we have in this final round, we're not going to see times that are really getting close to the world record for the men over the women, but that's just a guess. You never know.
First 2 of 4 Polish climbers out in this women's round of 8. Aleksandra Rudzinska on the left, Patricia Chertsey on the right. Came through with almost identical times in the previous round. Patricia Chertsey 8.15, 8.16 for Rudzinska. This one likely to be very tight. Friends and teammates battling out for a place in the final 4. Rudzinska's on the left, Chertsey is on the right. Still no false starts on the women's side. A clean start from both, and Chertsey briefly ahead, but this one is going to be very, very tight. A place in the final 4 beckons for Aleksandra Rudzinska. She took it by 0.05 of a second, 7.83 to 7.88.
Yeah, and yet another super duper close race on the women's side of things here. We just saw 2 Polish athletes who are at the top of their game currently go head to head. Aleksandra Rudzinska came out just a hair faster, but both of them had really good runs. Definitely can't hold your head over that.
And we were talking about the times in the men's a second ago. Over on the women's side, we had 7 women under 8 seconds in the qualifiers, but just 3 in the round of 16. Are they sandbagging? Are they saving a bit, or is that just a reflection of increased nerves and tension when you get to this stage?
Definitely in the round of 16, there's definitely a good chance you will not be seeing faster times, especially because the higher ranked athletes are ranked against lower ranked athletes. So you have a little bit more room to have, not room to have a mistake, but like a little more room to breathe if you're a faster athlete. So there's no need to really push the speed going towards world record types of times.
Alexandra Koluchka now raced her sister Natalia to get through, came through in 8.03. One of the 3 women who did go under 8 seconds in that round of 16 was Anna Tsiganova, the reigning world champion from Paris in 2016. 7.97 her time in the round of 16. If you're new to viewing the IFSC, welcome to Innsbruck. Charlie Bosco and Josh Levin here talking you through this women's competition. We've also got Mike Langley to talk us through the men's. This is the IFSC World Championships, takes place every 2 years, and Anna Tsiganova is not going to retain her title from 2 years ago. She false starts in the round of 8, and Alexandra Koluchka gets a free pass into the final 4. Anna Tsiganova out in the round of 8. The big names keep on falling. Someone must want to win this women's speed climbing final.
Yeah, this is really big development again. We saw in the round of 16, many big names are out. Yulia Kaplina and
Anouk Jobert,
yeah. And now we have another one. So this is a really interesting development again. Like the top women athletes in the world, it comes down to just the tiniest of margins. And at this point in time, you really want to have it like in your mind that you have to give it everything you got. So unfortunately, we see Anna Tsiganova out, and she's not going to be able to retain her title from 2 years ago.
Reigning world champion and one of the sport's big characters. Poland now assured a medal on the women's side. They've got 2 women through to the final 4, so they're going to pick up at least 1 medal.
And here we have another Polish athlete coming through, and this race again will decide who gets to go to the final 4 in these World Championships here tonight in Innsbruck.
Ala Marenic displaced Anouk Jobert in the competition in the previous round. Not many people would have bet on that, but Anouk Jobert just this year doesn't ever seem to have quite got into a rhythm. Few messy performances, and Ala Marenic was there to take advantage. Came through with an 8.39. Blisteringly quick 7.90 from Anna Brozek to get hits. Brozek on the right, Marenic on the left. And it was a quick start from Marenic, but a legal one. But Brozek was then quicker through the lower section of the route and has opened up a lead, which she should just about hang on to. She does. 7.96. She's gone under 8 seconds again, and Anna Brozek is through, and Poland are guaranteed at least 2 medals now. They've got 3 women in the final 4.
Yeah, this is incredible. Usually when you see in the final 4, certain nations have like a really good track record, Russia being among them, Indonesia being among them. This is an interesting development. We have Poland in the final 4, 3 athletes so far, and again, they're guaranteed at least 2 medals. So that's a pretty incredible development for them. Really great display of strength, and again, for their country, it's going to be a really incredible final to see 3 of their athletes so far in the final 4.
Yeah, they had 6 women in the round of 16. They got half of them through to the round of 4. Yiling Song now will go on the right, and Maria Krasavina, 2011 world champion, takes her on. This for a place against Anna Brozek in the semi-finals. The winner of that then progresses to the big final, speed climbing's equivalent of the gold and silver race. The runner-up will then progress to the small final for the bronze.
Big race because it kind of highlights the difference between the old guard and the next generation. Maria Krasavina being one of the more experienced competitors, and Yiling Song being one of our newest competitors at just 17 years old.
Both went under 8 seconds in the qualifiers. Krasavina went a 7.88 and a 7.99 for Song. 10th of a second separating them again in the round of 16. And again, it was Krasavina who was a 10th quicker. This one should be tight. Krasavina on the left, Song on the right, both away cleanly. Song exploded out of the blocks, earned herself an early lead, but slips mid-route. Krasavina can afford to slow it down a bit, but not a bit of it. 7.17 sees her through. 8.90 for Yiling Song. I said midway up the route, Krasavina might well throttle it in. No chance, blisteringly quick. 7.71.
Yeah, that was a really great run from Krasavina. She's just like continuing to prove how consistent of a competitor she's been. Podiums at almost every competition she's entered so far this year, and incredible to see it at her like development of competition, that she's still able to come out here and perform at this high of a level. All right, that about wraps it up for the women's round of 8. So next up, we're going to see the men's round of 8, and then from there on to the final 4 competitors from both sides. So as of right now, where it stands, we have 3 Polish athletes, Alexandra Ruzynska, Alexandra Kukluka, and Anna Brozek, as well as Maria Krasavina of Russia through to the final in Innsbruck here.
They can see the women's action that we've just seen then. We're going to be moving swiftly on to the men's top 8 quarterfinals. 3 of those men have already gone under 6 seconds tonight. It's blisteringly fast, Josh.
Absolutely. Here's a quick recap of what the action took place earlier. Plenty of Polish wins are throughout. And many upsets. We had, here's the false start from, who was that? That was Anna Ivanova, thank you. She unfortunately had a false start, so she will not be retaining her title from 2 years ago. But plenty of really good action all around. It's going to be an exciting Final 4.
So the crowd here in Innsbruck, good crowd here for the speed finals. A lot of tension in the arena. Speed climbing, there's a lot of tension around speed climbing already, but it seems to be, they seem to just put this sort of like tragic heartbeat music on as well, just to make it that bit more tense. I would not want to be an athlete climbing in the speed out there tonight. Not that I'd have a chance in hell anyway, but it's just really, really tense. And there you can see it, that's the top 8. It's going to be Małym versus Cruz. Up first, I think it's actually going to be Reza Aliposhena first, up against Konstantin Pavlenko. There he is on the screen in the arena. Ukraine taking on Iran. So World Cup winner and world record holder is going to be moving onto his favoured left side, as we've been discussing already, at Reza Aliposhena on the left. Konstantin Pavlenko on the right. Reza already put a 6.14 down tonight. Pavlenko 6.22. Not one of the 3 athletes to go under 6 seconds, but we felt like Reza especially was holding something back in his first run.
Yeah, and as you can see here, there's even a new auto belay system. There's 2 carabiners. Makes a tiny bit of difference because you have the rotating pivot point there, and it creates just a little bit of a different feeling when you put it on your back like Reza is doing here. But again, at this point in time, you just have to rely on your training, go to exactly what it's been for muscle memory, and go execute.
Ready?
Reza on the left then, Pavlenko on the right. Both got off to a really clean start. It's Reza on the left who had to pretty much head to head at the moment. 5.80, that was so close, I just lost the words in the middle there. It was Reza who looked like he had it, then Pavlenko started creeping back. That was so close. 5.80, things are starting to speed up here.
Oh yes, so we're starting to see some of the faster times coming out, especially when you get into the top 8 and the top 4 races. So Reza here actually was the silver medalist 2 years ago at the World Championships. So tonight, I think he really wants to take the title down and become the 2018 World Champion.
Yeah, and if that happens, watch out Innsbruck. This man knows how to party on the wall.
Oh,
I'm sure he can carry that out into the town centre.
Oh yes.
Look how much it means to him. He has got that really laser focus on this gold medal tonight. Cracking straight on then, 2 Russians out next. Stanislav Kokorin will be up against Vladislav Julin.
Both of them are many-time World Cup champions, and neither of them have won a World Championship. So tonight we're going to see who's going to be moving on to the Final Four to have a shot for the final title of World Champion this year.
Here's Kokorin on the right though, who was one of those 3A athletes to go under 6 seconds already today. He's obviously in fine form. Clash of the Titans here, its second quarter-final race.
At your marks.
Going to be Kokorin on the right then, and Julin on the left.
Ready?
Clean start from both athletes. Kokorin on the right, who seems to have the advantage at the moment, but this one's going to be really close. Oh, 700 to the second. 5.83 on the right-hand side. Kokorin takes it. That was close. That's what we want to see at the World Championships.
Yeah, this is where it's starting to really get fast, especially in the men's category. And we're seeing some times that are blisteringly quick, especially under the 6-second range. It was super close in this section, but Kokorin just had a slightly faster lead at the very end. If you watch just at the end, you can see how close to the wall he gets. You know, ideally, as a speed climber, you want to keep your center of gravity as close to the wall as possible so you have as much power from your body. And at the very end, you could see just how quick he was able to push it those past couple moves.
Anybody watching at home, this is incredible speed climbing here in the World Championships in Innsbruck. Second half of this men's quarter-final now. Jan Kruse versus Bassa Mauem from France. Bassa's going to be on the left, Kruse on the right.
And you can see again, each of these competitors has their own very specific way of setting up the timer. Jan Kruse over there actually put a foot down to measure how far out he wanted the timer to be. And as soon as he was able to do that, he was able to put his foot right in the spot he wanted.
So interesting seeing each individual athlete's kind of routine as they go to the start of each race.
Absolutely. To me, Bassa is actually an interesting one because he actually seems super calm before he goes. You don't expect him to be able to like blow out of the blocks as fast as he does, but when he goes up there, it's all business.
So Bassa Mauem on the left then, Jan Kruse on the right.
Ready?
Slight switch from Bassa Mauem on the left though, but does get the more explosive start, and Jan Kruse has slipped. This is Bassa Mauem, 5.71, a really quick time, and might be the quickest time of the day. Bassa Mauem's clearly on form, and like you said, Josh, when he fires out the blocks, he goes. Such an impressive start. I thought he had a slight hesitation at the start there, but no such troubles, absolutely fired it off. Jan Kruse did slip, unfortunately, still putting in quite a decent time as 6.46. But it's Bassa Mauem who's going to progress. We move on to the final race of this men's quarterfinals.
Yeah, really great race from both athletes. Unfortunately, a small slip from Kruse, but again, Bassa Mauem, he's definitely one to look out for, always a favorite in any competition he enters. And interestingly, he's always been almost getting into the world record times too, especially the last time the world record was broken by Reza. He was actually his competitor on the opposite side, so he's no stranger to having one of the quickest times in the world.
Moving on then, Alexander Shikov from Russia against the legend, 4 times world champion, Xixi Zhong on the right. Alexander Shikov already put down a 5.85 tonight, slightly quicker than Xixin Zhong's of 5.99. Lots of athletes going under the 6 seconds now. Just one in this quarterfinals has been over 6 seconds. It's 7.1 we just saw from Basamarim, currently the fastest time. It's not about time at this stage though, it's about beating your opponent.
Ready?
Song on the right, goes away fast, gets out the blocks nicely. He's currently got the lead and Shikov slips, 5.60. That is very, very close to world record speed. Xixin Hong seems on top form tonight. He wants this. He wants a 5th World Championships medal.
That was incredible. If I'm not much mistaken, that is actually his personal best time in competition. We'll have to double check how he did in the Asian Games, but he is really, really on fire right now. It's really incredible to see. Again, he's won the World Championships 4 times ever since 2007, I believe, in Spain. That was the first time he won the World Championships. He won there, he won 2009, he won 2011, and he won 2012. And here, all the way in 2018, a full 11 years after he won his first World Championship, he's back in the Final 4. And you can see how excited he is about that.
To have that much explosive power for that duration, it's a true sign of an incredible athlete.
Absolutely.
That is the end of the men's quarter-final rounds. That's the next groupings, who's going to go through to the small and big finals. And it's going to be back on to the women's competition.
Yeah, so we're seeing here, this is the final 4 athletes who will be moving on to the last medal races. We have Reza Ali Porshena, Stanislav Kokorin, Basamawem, and of course Xixin Zhong from China. Quick little highlights, we're going to see some of the quick action we had here. Reza, flawless through his first 2 runs so far tonight, closing in on his top world record time of 5.48 seconds. Again, I didn't think we'd see anyone getting close to world record, but wow, Zhong just had a really incredible run. It's 5.6. Here's Basa dominating his opponent there. Last race here, Zhong showing that he still has the power, explosivity, and experience to take home yet another world championship.
Josh, again, I was able to watch the men's without needing to worry what I was going to say about it, but it is a battle royale in the men's side. The slowest time to get through to that final round of 4, 5.83. Don't go anywhere on the men's side. And on the women's, it could be anyone's. It seems like none of the big names really fancy winning this World Championship. We've got 3 Poles into the final 4, joined by Maria Krasavina, legend of the game.
Yeah, I think the biggest upsets we've seen so far have been big names, but we can't forget that Alexandra Zinska is still ranked first. She had the fastest time out of qualification. She's won the world, I think is the only World Cup she's competed in so far this year.
Yeah, in Chamonix.
Yeah, so she won that one, and here she is coming out now for the final presentation of the athletes.
So before the semi-finals, the athletes are presented to the crowd. Alexandra Rudzinska on the right, Alexandra Kaluchka next to her, Anna Brozek about to appear in your shot. Looks like she'd rather still be backstage, keeping her head dialed down. There's Maria Krasavina, Reza Ali Porshena Sandifar, Stanislav Kokorin, Basa Marwem, and Xixin Zhong.
Yeah, here's our top athletes here. Again, we're going to see, interestingly, we have a pretty good mix of experienced competitors. A lot of these athletes have been around for quite a while. The only exception being Kakluka. She's been competing for a while, but mostly in the youth competitions. This is her first really big appearance on the senior stage in a world championship at the very least. So a lot of the other competitors have been around for quite a long time. Maria Krasavina, Basamawem, Zhong. They've been competing for such a long time at the World Championship, World Cup stage that for them this is just another competition. But for Kaluka, this is her first time being here at this level of competition.
For those of you just joining us on this Thursday evening, go back to the start of the program and watch it from the start would be my advice. Charlie Bosco and Josh Levin here. Mike Langley's been talking you through the men's competition and will continue to do so, and I'm talking you through the women's. Josh Levin, you will be relieved to hear, staying throughout both. And the real contrast in the competitions, as you say, I don't want to in any way undersell Rudzinska and Kaluchka and Brozek and Krasavina, but we have had a lot of surprise results in the women's. over on the men's, it's just a battle royale between those 4 men. Blisteringly quick times. And Maria Krasavina currently consistently quickest on the women's side, 7.71. Within 4/10 of the world record, currently stands at 7.32, shared between Anouk Jobert and Yulia Kaplina, both of whom were eliminated in the round of 16.
Yeah, and earlier tonight I made a prediction that we wouldn't be seeing world record being broken, but at this point in time, we have the final 4 races, so this is the time that if we're gonna see it go down, it's going down in these upcoming races.
I can see you disappearing behind me as you backtrack away from that prediction. You'd be out the back of the arena in a minute. I know what you mean. I have to say, I didn't think with the new timing system, it's quite warm in here. It's not ideal conditions for speed climbing. I didn't fancy our chance of seeing a world record, but now believing anything could be possible this evening.
Yeah, and it's something about these big events that really brings out the best of people, especially at World Championship kind of level. We're seeing times coming down to the wire now in both men's and women's fields in the round of 8. Right now we're actually seeing a graphic of where the speed climbing wall is in relation to the arena. As you can see, that's a nice little gateway you have to come through as an athlete, and then on the right side, both speed walls homologated world record standard. So again, if we do see a world record time here tonight, it will count officially as a world record.
Yeah, as we travel around the world with the IFSC tour, obviously we can't take a wall of that size with us. It doesn't quite fit in your hold luggage, so we have to recreate the wall everywhere we go, and sometimes they're not deemed to be close enough to the official route to be suitable for world records. But this one in Innsbruck signed off for world records. 7.32 the world record. As it stands, Maria Krasavina's been to just under 4/10 of a second from it, so still some distance to go. But given the way this evening's gone, just about anything could happen, so keep an eye on those times. Alexandra Rudzinska, as I mentioned, winner of the World Cup in Chamonix in 2018, takes on Alexandra Koluchka, the youth world champion. Both lost in their own thoughts. Quite different preparation style. Koluchka there with her eyes closed. Rudzinska, eyes open, ready to roll. Rudzinska will be on the left. Koluchka will be on the right. Poland are going to win 2 medals. Who will take them and what colour will they be? Rudzinska got a really good start and Koluchka slipped almost immediately. She's got back on the wall, but she's got a huge amount of work to do, doubly so when she slips for a second time. It's Rudzinska who goes through with 7.77. She's into the big final. She will win at least the silver medal.
Yeah, that was an incredible run from Alexandra Rudzinska. She's been on fire so far at this World Championships, having the fastest qualification time, advancing through to each of the final races she's had so far, and now she only has 1 more race to win to become this year's world champion. Yeah, you can see here just a little bit of a slip there down low, but still a great run from her, both athletes there. And again, Rudzinska just showing how dominant she is in the few competitions she's entered so far this year. Again, not doing the full World Cup circuit, but the World Cup she did go to in Chamonix, she did win there. And of course, again, earlier this year in Tokyo, there was a Masters event called the Tokyo Speed Stars, and she won that one too. So I'm having a pretty good year so far, I would say.
Yeah, her strike rate is pretty good. Here comes Maria Krasavina, a World Cup winner, a world champion, a legend of the game, and the fastest woman today, 7.71. Make no mistake about it, we might have lost a few of the favourites, but both these women more than earned their position in the Final Four, and Maria Krasavina looking the quickest of the Final Four at this stage, but Rudzinska with a 7.77 making a statement of intent ahead of the big final. So this for a place in the big final. Winner will go through to the big final and contest for the silver and gold medal. Runner-up will go into the small final for the bronze medal. Anna Brozek of Poland on the left, Maria Krasavina of Russia on the right. The arena will go silent and we will be underway. And it was a false start from Krasavina. I think she actually misread the beep, she went so early.
Wow.
Josh, I was you're just anticipating the athletes getting away on time. Is it just me, or did she go beep early? She went so early.
Yeah, that was a really big surprise. I wasn't expecting that either. I think she went on the correct beep.
She went on the correct beep.
It
just looked so early. I mean, the previous beep had hardly finished.
Yeah, that was a really big false start there. Usually when we see false starts, it's just by a hair, but that one was reasonably obvious to the naked eye. Oh man, that's a bummer.
So Poland, they're going to win 2 medals. They're going to win the silver. They're going to win the gold.
Wow.
Don't know who's going to claim them, and they might win the bronze as well. Maria Krasavina looks so frustrated, and I have to say, she'll be kicking herself. Massive false start there.
Yeah, definitely a bummer. But she is such an experienced athlete that she'll know how to bounce back from this really quickly. She'll be ready for the bronze medal race no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when we see a false start, you look at it and go, oh yeah, it was a false start. Sometimes you think, well, it doesn't look it to me, but I trust the machine. That one was a massive one.
Yeah,
so
that
Rudzinska
really
and Brozek will take each other on in the big final. Kaluchka and Krasavina will race for the bronze. Charlie Bosco signing off temporarily, handing you over to Mike Langley for the shootout of the big 4 in the men's semi-final.
Here we go, quick recap of the women's semi-final races. Oh, as you can see right off the bat, Alexandra Rudzinska retaining her dominant style so far this year. Really having some good runs so far tonight. Currently the fastest time of the day with a 7.63 in the qualification, and she's continuing to dominate so far tonight in the final races. She'll be racing for the gold medal up against her countrywoman, Anna Brozek, also from Poland. So we'll definitely get to see how it's going to go down. It will be Poland 1 and 2, but the bronze medal could either go to Poland or Russia.
So it's all change up here in the commentary box as we're back with the men's competition, and we have 4 World Cup winners battling it out for the place in the big final. There they are: Reza Aliposhena, Stanislav Kokorin, Basa Mawem, and Shi Zong.
Yeah, and this will be really interesting. It could be anyone's game here tonight. All 4 of these guys have the potential to take down the gold medal, and including Reza, including Kokorin, but for one of them, it will be what I believe is their first ever World Championship win, except for Zhang. He's won the World Championships 4 times. So other 3 guys have not won a World Championship, and that's because most likely Zhang was winning it.
Yeah,
so
but Reza does have the silver medal at World Championships 2016 under his belt, so he'll be looking to kind of take that one step further and take the gold. Massive pressure here in the men's speed World Championships final.
Easily. Both these guys, actually, Reza and Kokorin, have both won the silver medal at the World Championships. Both of them are looking to come here and make their way into the gold medal match, so one of them will be moving on.
So 2016 silver medalist and multiple-time World Cup winner Reza Aliposhena on the left. World Cup winner Stanislav Kokorin from Russia on the right. Here we go.
This could be a quick one. Don't blink.
5.48. Reza Aliposhena, world record. Let's go. Good start from both athletes, neck and neck at this stage en route. Absolutely clean climbing so far. Reza seems to have it. It's 5.70. Great quick time. Reza Aliposhena is pushing through to the big final. Stanislav Kokorin will go through to the small final. Reza Aliposhena, Josh, looks like he's after this one. He's out for blood tonight.
Easily. Both athletes just had absolutely phenomenal runs. You can see so close from both ones. They were just a little bit quicker off the blocks for Reza, and he actually had slightly different beta through the dyno section. You can see, well, this is the very end, but the dyno section, Reza does a little bit differently than Kokorin, and I think that was just the edge it gave him in order to advance him through the final round here tonight.
Kokorin posting a time of 5.83. That's the second time tonight that he's got that time. Consistency is the key, but unfortunately he won't be going through to the big final. Basa Mawem then possibly the crowd favourite tonight up against Shi Zong, China. 4 times world champion on the right-hand lane. World Cup winner Basa Mawem from Thailand 2018 this year on the left.
Yeah, 2 years ago in Paris, Basa Mawem took 4th place. He was out of the medals. So tonight, if he wins this one, he's guaranteed himself a spot on the podium, which would be his personal best at the World Championships. So he's really looking to see if he can take this to the next level. up against the heavyweight, Qin Zhong.
Just going through his routine with his arms there, firing the muscles. Second race then for the place in the big final. Basamau on the left, Zhong on the right. Little rock back at the start and a slight slip from Zhong on the right. Basamau looks like he's going to take this one, assuming there's no slips. 5.63, so close to the quickest time of the night. Absolutely dominant performance here from Basamau. Really, really cruise that one. Big upset, 4 times world champion winner on the right-hand lane. Zhong goes out, not a 5th title in 2018 for him. Let's have another look. Josh, a slight slip at the start there.
Yeah, super close. I mean, Bassa just had an absolutely phenomenal race. Zhang was looking really clean too. He's had a slight bobble, but again, both athletes incredibly quick. We'll be able to see Bassa race for his first ever World Championship podium. Unfortunately, Zhang has to race for the bronze medal.
Really great action all the way through the speed competition tonight, and we're starting to see some really quick times. 5.48 is the world record, 5.60 was the quickest on the night. That was Qin Zhong. He's gone out, unfortunately. It's going to be Reza Aliposhena versus Basamau in the final. Stanislav Kokorin versus Zhong in the small final.
Yeah, both final races are going to be really incredible to watch. I'm really looking forward to the big final. And in fact, the last time the world record was broken by Reza Aliposhena, he was racing Basamau. So this is a replay of the world record race that we had, I believe, last year in China. So if any time is going to have a world record go down, it's going to be this final race.
And you would have thought that's going to be replaying through Reza's mind as well. It's going to be playing through Bassa's mind. That's going to be a really big confidence boost going into the final run for those two. They can just relive the glory of that moment and see if they can repeat here tonight in Innsbruck and maybe go one better.
Easily.
Quick look back at the men's competition. That was second slip, really. It was all over by that point. Unfortunately, it was on the right. Incredible athlete, like I said, all the way back from 2007 world champion. Not going to be repeating that again tonight, unfortunately. No shame going out to Basamau though.
Yeah, we can just see the incredible amount of people here watching the final here in Innsbruck. And we're going to see, again, some really quick times in the final. We have a couple of Polish women and Maria Krasavina from Russia on the women's side. And, of course, on the men's side, we just have 4 dominant heavyweight performers. And one of them will be walking home with the gold medal.
So a quick break in the action as the athletes get ready. We're going to be passing you back to Charlie Bosco for the women's small and big finals.
Thanks, Mike. Mike gets to have his heart rate go down. I've had my turn off. It's interval training. Luckily, Josh Levin's the only athlete in the commentary box, so he just doesn't get a break. He just keeps going straight through. But now, what we normally have in speed climbing is both the small finals, men and women, followed by both the big finals. We've got a slight change in schedule here today. It's going to be the women's small final, followed immediately by the women's big final, men's small final, men's big final. And here we go. Alexandra Kaluchka takes on Maria Krasavina. Krasavina looks so quick, and then a massive false start. It's rare in speed climbing we see a false start so big where you instantly see it.
Easily. And this is a classic example of the new generation versus the old guard. We'll see how it goes down.
Ready?
Kaluchka didn't have the best run herself in the previous round, but this for the bronze medal. And Kaluchka, again, a false start. Maria Krasavina takes the bronze medal. The crowd sadly are denied the opportunity to see a race. These false starts are catching. Kaluchka went so early again, and again it was one so clear to see.
Yeah, definitely a shame, but Maria Krasavina, again, just proving how consistent she can be over the course of her entire career. She's won World Championships, she's won World Cups, and now she's won another medal here at the 2018 World Championships in Innsbruck.
And what you can see, we might just catch a glimpse of it there. You see that red flashing light? There's one of those to the left of each lane. That's a good shot to see it. And Kaluchka's instantly went red and flashed. Krasavina's went green, so she knew it wasn't her that had false started. And it looks like there's slightly mixed emotions at taking the bronze medal. I think she knows, given the upsets she'd already had today. She had the pace to win it today.
Sure. I mean, the bronze medal, when you win that race, it's actually quite an accomplishment because it means you're actually going to be on the podium. Fourth place, there's unfortunately no glory and you don't actually get any recognition, or there's no medal. But if you win the bronze medal, it's a really big accomplishment. I think for Maria Krasavina, it was honestly more of the fact that she won the bronze medal through a false start. You never want to be able to move on or make a medal just by your opponent false starting. You want to earn it because you performed at your best. I think for her, she wanted to be able to prove that.
Aleksandra Rudzinska is on the left. Anna Brozek is on the right. Poland are going to pick up 2 medals. They might have picked up 3, but Alexandra Kaluchka false started in the small final, meaning that Russia has taken the bronze medal with Maria Krasavina. Aleksandra Rudzinska on the left, Anna Brozek on the right. Gold medal on the line. They each know they're going to walk away from this World Championships with a wonderful result. At worst, a silver medal, at worst. However, it could be gold for either of them. Tension building. The DJ here not doing them any favors, playing some very tense music. The arena will fall silent. We'll hear the beeps, and Rudzinska on the left and Brozek on the right will go, and they both start cleanly. No false starts in the big final. Rudzinska's got a half a body length lead, but it's going to be very, very tight at the top, and she takes it in 7.56. She is the world champion. 7.91 for Anna Brozek. That one was tight. Rudzinska led it virtually all the way, but looked like she was just being reeled in. 5 or so moves from the top, hung on and took it by 35 hundredths of a second. She is the world champion, Aleksandra Rudzinska.
That was incredible. Excellent work from both athletes, and you can just see Aleksandra Rudzinska. This means so much to her. What she's been training for all year long. She did not do many of the World Cups, specifically so she could train for this competition. So this is just, must be one of the most incredible moments as an athlete, winning the World Championship in your sport, and she can't believe it right now.
Yeah, great to see a close race as well, with both athletes going well, both of them under 8 seconds. Incredible stuff. So Josh Levin, thank you very much for your company. I'm going to leave you in the more than capable hands of Mike Langley for the men's event. I have to now sprint down through the arena to do some live interviews, which hopefully you guys will hear up here, but a pleasure to have you like always.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, Charlie. And we're just replaying through
Here
the
is
final
Mike Langley.
race. Really clean run from both athletes, as you can see. Each one of them wanted it really bad. Aleksandra Rudzinska just had such a clean run. She's been so consistent, not just in this competition, but all year long. Every race she's been in, she's just been utterly and completely dominant, never missing a beat, and being able to hit all 4 clean runs like that in a competition, really, really difficult feat to pull off.
Great scenes here in Innsbruck, Josh. As a speed climber, you must be on the edge of your seat all the way through this.
Absolutely.
It's awesome watching you buzzing up and down in the chair.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've been, not only competing alongside these guys, but getting to know them better, traveling all over the world with everybody. As an athlete, you just become such good friends with your competitors. And so seeing all these guys that I've been training alongside, competing alongside, hanging out with for the last couple of months, doing so well on the world stage here, it's a really cool feeling as an athlete.
There you can see it. That's the end of the women's competition, and we're going to be moving on to the small and big finals in the men's. Really tense scenes here tonight. Josh, what do you think of the athletes? The DJ put on this really tense music. It must be an absolute killer on the stage.
Absolutely. As an athlete, especially in speed climbing, there's so much adrenaline already going through your body from having to just perform at the quickest level that you can possibly do, that when you go up and you're on the stage, you want to be able to kind of dial that back in to make sure that you're not overstepping your own boundaries and keeping yourself in check. So with the extra pressure and the music and everything, it becomes such a mental game for all these athletes to be able to come out there, put up a clean run, be consistent, and have one of the fastest times in the world. Truly incredible feat.
So one more truly incredible feat that these 2 athletes have to go through is the small final. The fight for the bronze medal. It's Stanislav Kokorin from Russia and Xixin Zhong from China. Well, already a 4-time World Cup gold medalist. It won't be gold, unfortunately, for him today, but maybe he can add a bronze to his already stacked trophy cabinet. Stanislav Kokorin, World Cup winner. He wouldn't be too upset about a bronze medal here either.
And both of them were in the final in the World Championships in 2011 when the record was broken by Zhang. So even though this is the bronze medal match, there's still a possibility that we could see the world record go down in this very race.
5.48 is that record. Here we go. Stanislav on the left, Zhang on the right. Good start, brilliant start from Zhang on the right, but he slips, and it's Stanislav Kokorin who's going to take this one. As long as he keeps it clean all the way to the top, 6.02. Time doesn't really matter at this stage in the game. A bronze medal for Stanislav Kokorin, really well deserved, and you can see there how much it means to him. A slip, unfortunately, for Zhang on the right. No more medals for him. Unfortunately, it's heartbreak. 4th place for Xinxin Zhang, but Stanislav Kokorin takes the bronze.
Yeah, and you can see he is so passionate about this sport. He really put a lot into it, and being able to take home the bronze medal of this competition means so much to him. But these guys, both such good friends, they travel to each of their home countries to train with each other. So definitely hard to be able to have to take a medal away from one of your really good friends. But both of them are really solid athletes, great competitors, great friends. I'm sure, but for both of them, it was a really great moment to be able to share that experience.
In the end, that small final didn't go down all the way to the buzzer. It was just a slip on the right-hand side, a double slip, really. I think the first one must have really created the second slip. Look how much it means to Stanislav. Superb, absolutely superb. All the way through to tonight's final, posting really good times all the way through. Really big shame. On the right, he just kept slipping time and time again. Maybe, Josh, I don't know, maybe he only had the silver or the gold in his mind, and I don't know, would it mean so much to him the bronze, would it meant much to him, with having so many trophies back at home?
I think always, yeah, as an athlete, you want to be able to do your best, and even if you have one slip, it's something that it could happen to anybody, and for both of them at this level, I think Zhang realized that he was so far behind that he couldn't have made up the time difference. But of course, they both want to be able to have good races. And as an athlete myself, I think you want to be able to see the best of everybody and have that be the determining factor of who makes the podium, who gets the medals. But of course, having a slip here and there, that's the nature of speed climbing. It happens to everyone, happens to myself, happens to all these guys. So seeing them come out here in the World Championship and put on so many races, you have to be able to come and be so consistent through all 4 rounds.
Here we go then, the biggest moment so far in this men's competition. It's the big final, and the big guys are up. Reza Ali-Polshena-Zandvoort versus Bassa Mouwen. Reza posting a 5.70. Bassa slightly quicker tonight with a 5.63. This is a huge moment in both of these guys' careers. The crowd is hotly anticipating this next run. Concentration absolutely at the maximum here. The 2018 World Championship race. Reza on the left, Bassa on the right. Clean start, it's Bassa who gets a better start on the right-hand side, but it's Reza chasing him down. It's absolutely neck and neck at the moment. Slight slip from Reza. 5.63, and Bassa has missed the timing pad to finish. Reza Ali-Polshena is the 2018 World Champion. Takes it one more step than 2016, silver medal there. Look at this guy, Reza Ali-Polshena. Watch out, Innsbruck. And Josh, what happened there? That was neck and neck. I thought Bassa had it, and he missed the buzzer at the top. I cannot wait to see a replay of that. It's Reza Ali-Polshena who takes the gold.
Wow, that's the only word I can have for this race. That was such an incredible final. Reza Ali-Polshena, super excited that he finally took home the gold medal. And of course, Bassa Mouwen, really excited for him, his first ever World Championship medal.
Here we go, let's have another look.
To gold.
Let's have a look at the top here. Watch the right-hand side. Bassa Mouwen looked like it was in the lead, possibly neck and neck. Slight slip there, and he just fell short. I think it was a slight foot slip. He missed the buzzer, came up short. Bassa Mouwen's going to have to settle for a silver medal. That was an incredible final, and that is the type of speed climbing what we're here to see. It was a foot slip with the lower left foot for Bassa. Let's have another closer look. So clean all the way up the route. It's there. The left foot just missed a crucial spot. To be honest, what do you think, Josh? I think Reza might have had it in the bag by that point anyway, but It was so close.
Wow, what an incredible race. Yeah, it was super close between the last two moves. You know, at that point in time, the tiniest thing makes a huge difference. So both of them looked like they were neck and neck. It really could have been anybody's game. It could have even come down to the thousandth of a second had Bassa been able to hit that last foothold. But you know, both of them just had such an incredible round through all 4 rounds they've had so far in competition. And of course, one of them has to take home the gold medal, one has to take home the silver. But both of them just phenomenal athletes. Really good round for both of them.
Yeah, great sportsmanship there, giving the hugs. Absolutely brilliant men's speed final and women's speed final all the way through. A couple of big upsets early on in the women's. The men's went a bit more kind of par for course as you would expect. And it was possibly the favourite going in tonight, Reza, who went through and took away a very, very impressive gold medal and a brilliant races all the way through. I have to say, I've not managed to cover many speed competitions in my work for the IFSC, but I really, really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that was a really exciting one. And interesting comparing the different disciplines. Both men's and women's categories so far here in speed, the highest ranked athlete from qualification was actually able to go on and win the gold medal, which is, if you compare to lead or boulder, is actually a much more rare occurrence. If you come out and are the highest ranked athlete in semifinals for lead or bouldering, statistically, we've seen a lot of athletes not be able to perform at the highest level or have someone who is a little bit lower ranked after the semifinal round come in and take the gold medal. But here tonight in the men's and women's category for speed climbing, we had both top ranked athletes come out and go all the way to the final and win the gold medal.
Very shortly, we're going to have Charlie Bosco down at the stage, who's going to be doing a live interview with the winners. I think it's going to be a very lively interview with Reza down there at the front. So pumped up. We see him all the way through the season. Every time he wins, he loses, he gets pumped, and he's taken away the World Championship.
Absolutely.
What a moment.
And it's interesting too, as an athlete, you know, climbing with him in the warm-up area, he's such a characteristic and lively guy. On the wall itself, you see him whether he wins or loses. Here we go.
I'm happy for gold medal champion.
Slight coordination issues down at the front. Well, we are going to be bringing in Charlie Bosco down there with Reza Ali Porshena.
Reza, the last 4 in that competition was so strong. Mawem, Kokorin, Song. Is that the hardest competition of your life?
میگه 4 نفر فینال خیلی قوی بودن. این سنگین‌ترین فینال زندگی بود به نظر خودت؟
نه، سنگین‌ترین فینال زندگیم سال 2017 بود که تونستم رکوردو بشکنم. اونجا خیلی رکوردهای بهتری زده شد تو فینال.
He said that he's in the 2017 he's the hardest competition for him because he broken the world record.
And he has the world record, the Asian Games, and now the World Championship. Which of those means the most to him?
میگه تو الان قهرمان ورلد چمپیون شدی، ورلد رکوردی و ایشن گیمز. کدومش واسط مهمتر بوده؟
مهمتر ایشن گیمز.
Asian Games
and World Games.
and World Games.
Okay, well, huge congratulations. You are the world champion.
یه تبریک بزرگ
Thank you. بگم امسال پام آسیب دیده بود و نتونستم اونجوری که باید ظاهر می‌شدم ظاهرشم امسال.
He said I have an injury in my feet. For this reason I'm not so good in the record, but I do my best.
It looked pretty good to us. Congratulations.
Well, brilliant interview there with Reza. I had to go through the interpreter. Not so easy for Charlie down at the front of the wall, and not so easy for Reza to come off the stage. It says he's got a foot injury and still manages to win the World Championships. Josh, what do you think of that?
Yeah, that was incredible. We're just watching some replays of the final races. We have Coker in here. But the thing I found most interesting about Reza's interview is it's not the world record nor the world championship that he's most proud of, but the win at the Asian Games earlier this month. So I think that's a pretty interesting statement. And the fact that, you know, having the win at the Asian Games means so much to him is a pretty, you know, it's definitely interesting to us as international competitors, seeing which competitions kind of mean the most to you and which ones you kind of base your training around for the entire season. So for him, the Asian Games, and he also put in the World Games last year, which he also won. So he has quite a trophy collection back home now as well.
What a great final it was as well. And you know, in competition and in sport in general, you want to see a good show. And with the drama of Bassa missing the timing pad to finish, the drama couldn't have been any higher, really.
Yeah, definitely a really exciting finale for both athletes. Just seeing some great sportsmanship, even after missing the buzzer. Both athletes were able to come together and say that they really enjoyed competing against each other and show that in this sport we're all really in this together in order to make sure that we're all having the best time possible.
Certainly having a good time up here in the commentary box. Really, like I said, really enjoyed that speed finals tonight. Certainly not the end of the action here in the World Championships. Tomorrow you can catch us 1 p.m. for the women's semi-final. We've got part 3 of the paraclimbing finals and the women's boulder finals at 7 p.m. Stay with us though, because we've got the flower ceremony for the speed climbing as we have another look through at some of the highlights in the women's competition. And for Josh, some of the athletes tonight in the women's, a number of false starts, and that kind of made a big couple of upsets really.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. In the round of 16, there were so many upsets from some of the top names in the sport. We had Yulia Koplina go out, we had Anna Gilbert go out, and we had Anna Tsiganova go out in the second round. All 3 of those women easily could have won the championship tonight. It could have been anyone's game, but of course we saw Alexandra Rudzinska come out and show and prove that she is the most consistent, the most competitive and dominant athlete right now in women's speed climbing. So yeah, going through right here, and she's really happy, of course, after celebrating hitting that final gold medal buzzer.
There we can see it, the flower ceremony taking place in the women's competition. Maria Krasovina there takes the bronze. Anna Brose was fantastic all the way through, really. Really consistent, solid performance in the speed competition. You could sense that she was slightly disappointed with the silver medal, but I think when she gets back home, I think overall silver medal World Championships can't be too upset.
Yeah, definitely not. Really phenomenal athlete. Really excited to see her up on the podium here tonight.
Yeah, posting 7.91 and twice in the last 2 runs, so she was really quick tonight, 7.32. World record didn't go down, unfortunately, in either category. Possibly wasn't expected with the conditions we've got in here though. And the winner, smiles all round, fantastic to see. Alexandra Rudzinska from Poland, 7.56 in the final run, blisteringly quick time. Smiles all round, and a brilliant women's speed competition overall, and a really, really interesting one. That's not the end of the speed climbing though this weekend. Obviously we've got the combined speed coming up later on Sunday as well. Potentially different set of athletes we're going to be seeing duking it out on Sunday. That's going to be interesting. Definitely don't miss that one. But these are the best speed climbers in the world right now.
Absolutely.
Poland 1 and 2, Russia 3rd.
We just saw the women's flower ceremony. They're actually going to do the medal presentation along with the national anthem over in the marketplace here in Innsbruck. But of course, first up we have an interview with Charlie Bosco down the stage with Alexandra Rudzinska.
Alexandra, you've been concentrating on this event. You've been training so hard. You are the world champion.
Yeah. I am, and I'm happy. It's a lot of emotion. It's hard to describe it.
And there were 2 other Polish people in the final 4. It must have been difficult to compete against your friends, so many emotions. What was that last 10 minutes like?
Yeah, it's the first time in the history of Poland, and I think it was pretty nice because you know that the first medal will be for Poland. So yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Well, in 20 minutes you will be in the Marktplatz in Innsbruck city centre. You received the gold medal, world champion. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. It's okay.
Always great to hear from the winners. Such emotion, it's so raw. I mean, how on earth you can do an interview after winning the World Championship, not only after kind of going through all of those speed runs as well. It's it's awesome.
Yeah, really incredible. And to have her fastest time of the entire night be in the very final race with 7.56 seconds, you can just really see what that means to her. Pretty incredible performance from Alexander Rudzinska tonight.
So we are carrying on here with the flower ceremony. We move on to the men's presentation. Just taking a moment themselves, catch a few breaths before getting to go up in front of the crowd here in Innsbruck. Representing Russia then, Stanislav Kokorin takes the third place bronze medal and looks very, very happy with himself indeed.
Absolutely. Kokorin has been one of the most consistently dominant athletes in the sport of men's speed climbing. He's won so many World Cups. He's been on the podium for World Championships multiple times, and tonight he's proven that he is still one of the most dominant and incredible athletes here in Innsbruck. Incredible performances from Bassa tonight. He really had an incredible run through each of the first 3 races. It looked like he could have potentially pulled off the gold medal. You know, of course, anything can happen in a speed race. And of course, for him, this silver medal is the first World Championships medal he's had. So he's definitely happy about that. But of course, we're really excited to see him come back on top of the podium at a future competition.
Speed World Climbing Champion 2018 then, Reza Aliposhena beats his silver medal in 2016, matches his Asian Games win. Great night, the perfect night really for Reza. He was consistent, he was fast, wasn't quite world record fast, but he did exactly what he needed to do. His game plan was perfect from the very first run, and a brilliant competition all the way through here tonight in the speed finals. That does conclude the competition here. Thank you so much to Josh Levin for joining us. I've been Mike Langley. Charlie Bosco is basically running around the arena trying to get interviews. Thank you so much for watching. Do not miss the women's semi-final starts 1 p.m. tomorrow. Paraclimbing Part 3 finals also later on in the afternoon, and the women's bouldering final at 7 p.m. Have a very good night, and we will see you tomorrow.